Hi, everybody. My name is Christian Servin, and along with Professor Karishev, we are organizing Hack the Border 3.0. So it will take place November the 21st and then November 23rd. Now, the hackathon this year is being broken into two different aspects. I'm going to explain this aspects in a little bit, but as you can read right here, it will be in November the 3 days. The 3 days are composed by several activities. The first part is to show what is the hackathon and why we have two parts this year. Let's start with part A, which is what we're seeing right here. We decide to break this year part A as create an artifact development. If you know, an artifact can be anything that you can demonstrate a proof of concept all the way to something super technical. That's why we're introducing these four themes that we will talk about during the whole presentation. The first theme is misinformation, disinformation. The second one is AI generation detector. Third one is health analytics. And the fourth one is cybersecurity. Many people think that the hackathon is about cybersecurity, which is not really true. We're asking you to go and do this experiential learning through different factors. The first one is technical, which you are required to do something that relates with technical aspects in computing, such as on a mobile app, a website, or a program. Now, some of you are very interested in programming or computer science or web development. So this is an area that you might explore your opportunities to do that thing. Now, the question is, what are you going to do with those three artifacts? You don't have to do the three of them. As a matter of fact, you can pick whatever you feel more comfortable in your tools that you want to develop, as long as you pick one of those four teams. That is the technical, and it's been devoted or it's been assigned for people who are a little bit more advanced in computer programming or computer science or development. The non-technical aspect, it's to create an artifact to do awareness. So you might know that in cybersecurity or AI detector or health informatics, there's a lot of different aspects, including misinformation, that people need to be aware. Aspects that you probably want to show this to your grandma or your 2-year-olds or maybe a little bit older, right? But it creates more cyber awareness or AI awareness. So we're inviting you to create some of the non-technical aspects. And that includes something, for example, some research on data collections, surveys, some data analysis of something. A case study that is in the border, you can go and find something that relates in the border and give an explanation. A visual representation, we're talking about a video, a digital resource, social media. Some of you are in social media, like developing reels or videos. Those considered to be part of the non-technical, even including a podcast. I don't know if you know, but at EPCC in Building B, we have a room that is actually for free. So you can use it to create a podcast. They have a green screen, so you can create videos or animations. You can use those resources in order to make something nice. Remember that this is a multidisciplinary hackathon. It means that this is open to all different majors. It doesn't have to be computing. For example, if you're in law, if you are interested to do something about cyber law or some law that affects misinformation or disinformation, please do it, because this is something that we're going to use those artifacts to help the community to get this awareness. Also, we want to know how can you create digital resources. So you have these two options, the technical and the non-technical. This is where it has the most weight of the hackathon. The second part, which is part B, is where you're going to come here during 21st to November the 23rd. However, in the 22nd is when you're going to have the whole competition. What you see here in the screen is basically all what we call these stations. We're going to have a couple of stations in AST in the Valle Verde campus, 150. We have the entire Flexitorium, so we can work there the entire day in capturing the flag, secure coding, adversarial thinking, networking. We have a new adversarial thinking, Hack the City, where you will have a scenario where you can explore options about how to protect downtown El Paso. So this looks like the agenda. We're looking for 21st to the 23rd. Yes, it's a 3-day hackathon, but November the 21st is professional development. You're going to get registration in room 307. After that, we're inviting you to go and participate in the Industry Night Professional Panel. This is a panel from different professionals from the region that relates with the new emerging computing areas, AI, cybersecurity, data analytics, showing why they need certain skills in order to hire you. So this is a beautiful professional development for all of you to see what I want to stay in El Paso region, what they're looking in my resume. How can I improve? What kind of skills they need? What kind of competencies they need? This is a great opportunity for you all to see what is happening in the region professional. In addition to that, we get sponsored by the NSA. It's a National Center for Cybersecurity Education. They're training professionals to see what is impacting in the society. Now, that is day 0, or the first day of the hackathon. The second day is where we're going to meet and do the competitions. We will provide you light breakfast and lunch. But also, in addition to that, we're going to have these stations. The stations were composed for 5 main stations: adversarial thinking, capture the flag, secure coding, and package capture. But in addition to that, we have a datathon. The Datathon is an affiliated event that we have to Hack the Border this year. However, you're welcome to go and get some points. Remember, this is part B of the main project. So part B, you're going to come here and collect points from different stations in order to increase the number of points for your hackathon project. The third day, it will be about the team presentations. You will present your artifact in front of some judges just to get some points about your presentation. And we'll close in with some ceremony and awards. The next question is, how do you register for the hackathon? So if you go to the website that it looks right here, here's a QR code when you can just scan this code and go directly to the Hack the Border by National Hackathon 2024. This is where you're going to have the opportunity to register your team. Now, we have some rules this year where you need to recognize what is your academic level before you register. It can be a freshman or sophomore, junior or senior. The reason why we're asking you for this classification is because we want to be fair for everyone. And also we want you to have the opportunity to explore challenges that are according to your education to this point. By the way, all of you can participate in all the technical and the non-technical. However, some people, like for example, the juniors and seniors, we encourage them to do the technical aspects only. Let's go ahead and explore a little bit more about this registration form. When you come here to the registration form, you're going to ask to select what kind of classification you are. If you're a freshman or sophomore, your team, you're going to click Next. Here is where you are capable to see the tracks that you are allowed to work. This is the educational track, which is the non-technical, and the technical track. There's some instructions that is asking you to fill out. You need to provide a team name. And then by clicking Next, you will fill out all this information required in order to be part of your team. The teams are composed from 2 to 4 members, at least 2, maximum 4. If you're a junior or senior, then you will see a different option because you're only available to select technical track. Again, we want to encourage you and celebrate your knowledge. That's why we encourage you to do the technical only. So it's the same situation. You fill out the information and your name of the team, and then you just hit Next and fill out the form of your members. About the teams. So as you know, we have 4 main teams. Misinformation, disinformation is one of the most popular ones around the world right now. We want you to understand if it's a technical or non-technical, how can we recognize misinformation or disinformation? There's a difference. And we want you to give us, if it's an artifact, to show Granny, this is a type of misinformation. This is a type of disinformation. And why? How can you recognize and avoid these things? We're looking for the technical aspect, maybe a program that recognizes those types of misinformation. If you're doing the non-technical or educational, show Granny what you know about these things and how you prevent her to go and get some misinformation in her real life. AI generation detector is probably one of the most challenges that we have right now. I know many of you know what ChatGPT is and other tools. So we are interested to see how we can detect these items, either if it's a non-technical or technical. We want to see how can you tell someone else that this was generated by AI. As you can see right here in the screen, I did generate this through using DALL-E, one of the AI's tools. Health analytics is another one that is being very, very popular, not because the word analytics is there, is because there's a lot of data nowadays and people don't know how to recognize those aspects. What is the privacy? What is the confidentiality? Where can you recognize one point A and point B that the information of a patient get jeopardized? But not only that, we're interested to see also how can you generate meaningful data from patients' data or health data. If you decide to do the technical aspects, you might have recognized that there are some data sets for how to recognize if someone is ill or how to predict if someone will get ill. We're going to provide you that data for you. So you can do plenty of those things like training at machine learning, how to predict those things. I know what you're thinking, Professor, those machine learning seems to be pretty advanced. You will be surprised at the tools that will provide you. One of them is Google Colab, which allows you to basically just insert some data and manipulate some parameters in order to get your data predictions. Maybe you don't want to do that thing. Maybe you just want to create a pamphlet or some kind of case when you can create awareness to patients, nurses, doctors about how data can be prevented to be hacked. And the last one is cybersecurity, which is so broad. So we encourage you to identify a problem where you can actually feel comfortable in the region so you can provide a solution. You can go to one of the clinics here or business and recognize some kind of things that are missing. Cybersecurity is so broad because it covers integrities, availability, confidentiality, adversarial thinking, adversarial mindsets. So have a consideration to do your project based on those areas. In addition to that, we're going to have the datathon. The very first time we're going to host a datathon here in Hack the Border. It's been sponsored by El Paso Electric. So we're going to have a track for the datathon during the hackathon. So that means that we're going to have some data, patients data, health data, where you can do some manipulation of that. But also, we're going to keep running. We're going to post 2 days in advance all the data from El Paso Electric to make sure if someone wants to take a stab on that, this is an opportunity to go create your team and give some visualization, data cleaning about those things. Now, if you go to Hack the Border, if you go under the hackathon, you will find here all the information that you need. Here you can find your RSVP, the agenda, and of course the themes that you need. In addition, we encourage you to keep coming here every Thursday. And starting next week, we're going to start doing also on Tuesdays, some of the workshops that will help you to go and expand your knowledge in the hackathon.